Okay, so here's my video on how to roll your own cigarettes. Basically, in Washington State, it costs about $65 to $80 for a carton of premium cigarettes. So I'm going to show you a way that you can roll your own cigarettes, and it'll probably cost you about $16 to $20 per carton. This right here, the good stuff, was 13 bucks. Okay? And these right here, premium tubes, they're about $3. This is all including tax, so it actually came out to about $16.50, $17. Anyway, the first step that you need to go through is you need to buy one of these. These are about $3 to $4, and what it is a spoon-fed packing mechanism for your cigarettes. And the way that it works, if you look inside there, is you'll see the spoon inside. And then also, if you look here, there's a packing unit, and that packing unit also has a half helix on the inside of it, if you can see that. So what that does is when you put your tobacco inside of it, basically it packs it into a perfect cigarette form. Now on the front here, you have a grommet. See that grommet right there? That grommet needs to stay risen anytime that you put a tube onto the end here. This tube feeder is angled so that way you can push it in and roll it on and get it under that grommet. Once you close this, the grommet shuts. There's a locking mechanism on the front that holds everything into place on that rail, and you can slide it through and you'll see that spoon come out. That spoon is what actually feeds the tobacco into the tube. So as you can see that, unlock it, see how it locks and then unlocks? Open it up, and you can see where everything feeds in and then feeds into the actual tube. Okay? Now, one of the most important things about these is that they'll get little microfibers stuck inside of this feeding chamber, basically this hopper that you have. Now, one of the most important things you want to do is actually go and pick up one of these cheap pick sets. This is a pick and hook set that you can get from Harbor Freight. It's about $2, and it's got everything you need. It's got small straight picks, it's got hooked picks at different angles, as you can see there. And what this will help you do is clean out all the debris that's kept inside of your moving parts. Now I know this is only one moving part, but still a lot of shit gets caught up inside this. So you want one of these sets in order to pick it out without breaking this, because you know, no one wants to spend $4 every time when they break one of them. Now anyway, the first step to this is you want to take your tobacco. This is actually pipe tobacco, so it's cheaper than cigarette tobacco because it's not chopped as fine. Now when it's labeled cigarette tobacco on the front, you actually pay a higher tax for this than you do for regular pipe tobacco, which is crazy to me, but because they don't know that this is going on, so it's a tax loophole. So anyway, what you want to do is open your unit like this, fold it down, keep a plate because you're going to have a lot of debris that falls off to the sides. This is just natural. And not only that, you can scoop it all up and roll it back into yourself and then keep on feeding it in. So what you want to do is keep this closed like this. See, open, closed, keep this closed. Now go into your tobacco, grab yourself a nice little pile like so. See that little pile right there? Anyway, and then grab yourself a pinch and a half and then just roll it through like that, and then pack it in like so. Now this is one of the things that most people do, is they pack it in like that and then they call it good, and they'll grab one of their tubes like so, okay, and they'll just push it right on there. But that's the whole problem, is because these have a very, very short filter on them. The filter only goes to there. And when you do it this way, which I just basically explained to you, it'll only pack to that line right there. And you don't want that. You want it packed all the way down to the filter. So the trick is, and this is the one thing that I've shown people and they think is just like, well, why didn't I think of that? So simple. So instead of it being a one-step process, it becomes a two-step process. So pack your tobacco in there, fill it up, fill the hopper up basically, crush it down with the compactor, and then what you'll do is clip in and pull it forward until you see a generous amount of tobacco coming out of that front feeder tip. Now once you see it coming out of that front feeder tip, that means that you know that the bottom of the cigarette's going to be packed. Pull it back up, clear the tobacco out of the way, push it down like so, and then open it up. When you open it up, you'll see an empty chamber in the back of it. Right there, you can see that there's less tobacco there than what has already been packed in the front. Once you see that there's less packed in the back, all you do is take a little bit of your tobacco and just push it back into that corner right there. You know, you really don't need that much. And this is going to pack your cigarettes much better than anything else that you've seen on the internet. Now, I don't know why anybody else has not done this. So what you do is close it almost all the way just to keep the tobacco in there. Take your tube. Now when you put the tube on, there's a sharp angle on that side right there. Okay? See that sharp angle right there? It sticks out further. Guide the tube on that, and then basically you just want to roll it and snug it down. It will crumple sometimes, just like that one did. What you do is grab it in that grommet, hold like this, and then pull backwards. And bada boom. A fully packed cigarette. Now I'm going to do that again really quick so that way everybody can understand exactly what I'm doing. Okay? Go ahead and clear your device by clicking it back and forth and emptying it out. Push your tobacco back. Now just grab your tobacco from over here and lay it in there. Pack it in. Make sure it fills it pretty well. Clear some of it from the grommet. You want to keep that grommet clear, because if that grommet's not clear, your tube's not going to fit well on there. Now, close the clasp on the top, pack it down, and then pull it out. You'll see the tobacco start to spit out the front of that tube. When it spits out the front of that tube, pull it back. Clear it out. Grab anything that's going to obstruct the tube from hitting. Anything that obstructs the tube from hitting is going to cause you not to be able to pack the cigarette correctly. You open it up and you see there's an empty part in the back of the chamber. Fill the back of the chamber, stuff some tobacco in there, and then go ahead and grab yourself a tube. Close it without pressing it, and then you just want to take your tube and roll it on there. And then it's seated inside that grommet. Once it's seated inside that grommet, go ahead and apply pressure, grab the front of the lock, and then basically just pull it in, pull it out, open, and release it. And there you go. A fully packed cigarette. And that's deep. And the thing is, if you want it to pack even harder, just simple tap like that. Simple tap like that will knock it down even further. I mean, look at that. It nipped a little bit off the end there just because I was squeezing too hard. But still, that's a fully packed cigarette all the way down to the bottom. So even when you flick it like that, you're not going to feel that little bit of absence inside there. That little bit of absence is really distracting, especially your couple first time smoking when you do this. So put that down. Now, I know I'm going to get quite a few comments on this that say, oh, can do with weed? Weed can do? Smoke weed in cigarette? Oh, yes, of course. You can always make medicine out of this. It's the same exact process. What you want to do is clear all your tobacco out. Check to see if there's anything obstructing on the inside. Obviously there is not. Then go ahead and just tap your tobacco in your plate until it rolls up on the corner there. Pour it back into your bag, and then bring out the goodies. Now this is just some leaf basically, and it's been ground up in a small food processor that I got from Big Lots. This cost me about $4.50 when I bought it, so it's well worth it. Grinds up everything good. You can do multiple uses with this. You could do food, you could do smokables, you could do edibles, you could basically do anything you want with this, as long as you want something chopped up fine, depending on how long you put it in there. And see, there's still even a couple stems in there, so what you want to do is pull those stems out after you're done grinding it, because it will actually separate all the stems from the leaves, which makes it really nice. And then just keep this down here. Same process again. Open it up, grab your medicine, fill it in, stuff that in there, real nice. Now remember, these leaves won't break up as well as tobacco will, because tobacco's in really nice thin strips. But if you grind this up hard enough, it will go to almost tobacco and powder-like state. Same thing again. Pack it full, close it, lock it in, push it through until you see something feeding out the front. Once something's feeding out the front, go ahead and grab it out of the front, clear that loading chamber, that angled loading chamber, and then open it again. When you open it again, you'll see there's a blank spot on the back there. If you look closely, you can see the you can see the spoon right there. That's where the blank is going to be. So you just take a little extra, throw it inside, pack it in there. Maybe a little extra, because you know we like a little extra medicine for everybody now. Throw it in there, grab a little bit of this excess, throw that in there, pack it in. You know, let the top shut on it. Okay? Take your tube, load it on the sharp side. Always on the sharp side. So you want to load it around that. Oh. And see, I messed up a tube right there. This is a good example. When you mess up a tube, here's what you want to do. Most people just throw these away. You don't want to do this. What you want to do is take your fingers like you're going to smoke a cigarette and just lightly run them across the paper in multiple directions, and that'll pull most any creases or bends out of it. And like we can see right here, there's still a little bend on the corner. What you want to do is make sure you feed that part first. So you grab that little bend, stuff it in there, and see how that just fed on there again, even though it was bent. Close it shut, clasp the front, in, out, open, release it. That's it. And that's how you use one of these cigarette packers, and also multiple smoking apparatus. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any more questions or anything that I can improve on, let me know. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever the fuck you want.